Hi, this is Ali Heathfield from Career Mums. Today I'd like to talk to you about the stories we tell. One of the most difficult concepts for me personally to grab hold of was to understand the only moment I have is now. And that too is so fleeting, but the time I've got it too has gone. Like a puff of wind here and there and gone. And just like the wind, the strength of the experience will have an effect on my actions, beliefs, thoughts, and values. The way we make sense of our world is we tell ourselves, if you like, stories in here. We put what we see, what we hear, what we experience, and we tie it all together with our beliefs and values, and then we hook it, all of that, into an experience that we put a label on. And so, as we add more and more to that experience, we tend then to generalise our stories out. So we say things like, they never listen to us, or I'm no good at interviews, or I can't do that because I haven't got the experience. So let me also share with you that our fears come from the past. They're not here and now. They're made up from all the stories that we talked about just now. Negative thoughts such as fear of failure, fear of lack of knowledge, fear of sadness, fear of disappointment, fear of grief, fear of unhappiness, fear of overwhelm. And in the same way, our anxieties come from the future, which, if you remember, just doesn't exist. It's not even there. All we've got is now. What we tend to do is take those stories that we've told ourselves and we extrapolate them into the future so that we carry the old fears into what may be. And then this too becomes reality in our minds. Anxieties like, will I have enough? Will I be good enough? It mightn't work out. We might lose our house. I might be too old. They might fire me. I might not be good enough. I might not be able to do whatever it is. So what we manage to do is we take something that doesn't exist, but we've built our stories in our minds, and then we build new future stories that we catapult into the future. And we talk about self-sabotage. Golly, we tend to do it all the time. I don't know about you, but I have and still do come across people who either seem to live in the past or who constantly live in the future, looking at what's next, what might be, etc. Either way, fears and anxiety seem to abound far more easily for them. To choose to live in the present is a way to create a life that is more enjoyable, more satisfying, and some might say more balanced. So for the lesson for me was that life is all about story. If I want to live in the present, I have to be careful about what stories I tell myself and how I use those stories. Stories can be changed. The ending can be changed, the outcomes can be changed. And if I don't like the story, I have the power to change the story completely. What we tell ourselves moment to moment is incredibly powerful. It's that telling of the story moment to moment that builds on the story, that builds and builds and builds. That is what we're filing away and using to analyse, create and make our individual world, because our world is in here. We always think it's out there somewhere. It's not. It's only ever in here. It's an interesting concept. The good news is that even if your stories have not been what you've wanted up until now, you have the power to change them. Whatever you tell yourself consistently will be the thing that has the most effect on your day-to-day life in the present. That's where your attention will go, and that in turn will be where your energy is spent. So what stories are you telling yourself? Are they empowering you or are they disempowering you? If you take one thing away from this video log today, then I hope it will be this. You and me are responsible for the stories we tell ourselves. If we have experienced something horrible or difficult things in our lives, the story we tell ourselves will have the greatest effect on how we use it to live in our present and shape our futures. And by the way, mums, listen very carefully to this, because as we shape our own futures, so too we are laying and modelling behaviours, thoughts, actions for our children. So, question, are you telling yourself a blame story, a victim story, or a learning story that empowers you? All of us can shape the story whichever way we choose. It's our choice. Now, if I'm honest, and I'm always honest with you, it sounds easy. And actually, to the most part it is, but there are some stories we tell ourselves that we seem to have more difficulty in changing, and at that point it would be very good to share it with somebody you trust to help you, or get yourself a coach, or talk to somebody that is very, very experienced and has gone through it and seen what they can do. Any which way, get the help you need to change the story you're telling yourself to be something that empowers you rather than disempowers you. I hope that's been helpful to you today. I know, actually I will tell you one story from my own life, because I think it actually epitomises how you can change. I used to be very, very, very shy, and I used to tell myself that I didn't like being with people, and I found it difficult at parties, and that I couldn't go up to people and talk to them, and you know, I just wasn't going to be doing things like that because I was shy. And then somewhere along the way, and I wish I could tell you where, I started to change that story. I started to change the story to, actually, I'm not shy and I am able to talk to people. I'm very good at talking to people. And then slowly I built on that I was very good at talking to people, and I was quite happy to go and talk to somebody at a party, especially if they looked as if they were shy, because I could help them. And then I built another bit of story on top of that and said, well, if I can do that, then I know that I can just go into a group and join a group at a party. And then I built myself a story on that and said, at work, do you know what? I can lead the story. I can actually lead the story and help people to create their own stories. And so my story has changed from being somebody who used to be really, really shy and pitifully shy, couldn't actually do something, to somebody who actually is quite extrovert now, and who can and does and enjoys going up to people, talking to people, sharing with people, and going and being with groups. So that's just a little aside to how we can change our stories when we want to. So until next time, I hope this has helped you, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.